Hi, thank you for joining us for Pilates. My name is Sue. Today we're going to start standing. We're going to do some reformer exercises on the mat today. And I do classical Pilates, so it might be a little different than other Pilates that you've done before. So I'm going to have you start with your heels together and your toes apart. Your toes are going to be about 5 inches apart. And your thighs, I'm going to have you wrap them around and squeeze those inner thighs together so you should feel those glutes working now. I'm going to have you go take a deep breath and reach those arms up, but watch your ribs so you're not sticking those ribs out. So keep them pulled together. And then exhale, press those arms down by your sides. Good. Inhale, reach up again. And this time you're going to keep pulling that belly in and up, and you're going to start to toss an imaginary wall behind you. One bone at a time is going to peel off. Your belly keeps pulling in, and I want you to think about going over a pokey fence, and your belly doesn't want to touch it, so you have to pull away from it as much as you can. If you need to bend those knees, if you're really tight, just bend them as much as you need to. Release that head, release the shoulders. Inhale at the bottom, and then pull that belly in. Start to exhale as your back starts to come up against that wall again, and then exhale it down. Good. Inhale up. We'll do this a couple more times. And then exhale, pull that belly up. The belly is what's rolling you up, not your back. And then one more. Inhale. And then feel how this is controlling, rolling you down. And then exhale, lifting, using those abdominal muscles. And then bring it down. So the first thing you generally do in a reformer class is you do feet work. So we're going to go in parallel, lift those toes up, spread them apart, and then set them down. A little soft knee, and I want you just to lift straight up and then straight down. So I'm trying not to shift your body forward and back, and not just using that ankle joint, but get your bottom involved to lift yourself up. So those glutes are working, and then down. You might not come up very far. I just don't want to see this happening. And then come back down. Now peek down at your toes and look, are you rolling in or out? We want to keep them nice and stable. That big toe knuckle has as much pressure on it as that little toe knuckle. I like to roll out, so I've got to really focus on that big toe knuckle. And you should feel the glutes working, the calves working. Good. Now you're going to stay there. We're just going to bend those knees and then press back up. Good. Still feeling the same work we just were doing, lifting those toes. 4 more here. A little bit different than a squat. And then last one. Good. Now come up onto those toes. You're going to hold it up. So it's not very high way up in here. So it's like a little book is put underneath, and we're not going to lower and lift. We're going to go back, trying not to move that ankle joint. It's super hard. And notice if you're lowering and lifting as your knees are bending and straightening. When you do feet work correctly on a reformer, they're super hard exercise, but a lot of times we just breeze through it and don't really focus on the correct muscles. One more time here. Good, and then set those heels down. Now we're going to go back into that Pilates stance. Heels together, wrap those glutes around. Toes are lifted, spread them, set them back down. Lift up and lower down. You only get to lift up as high as those heels can squeeze together. Feeling the inner thighs and that wrap right into the glutes. One more. Good, set it down. We're gonna bring those knees down, and then inner thighs, pull them back together. Good, one more here. And then go ahead and use your glutes to lift straight up. Just high enough to get a good chapter book underneath your heels. Hold there. Inner thigh squeeze, bring you back up. And last one here. Good, lower those heels down. Let's go to the top of your mat. And you can be in Pilates stance. If you need those arms, arm presses up, top arm presses down, open those collarbones, and you're just gonna lower yourself all the way to the mat this way. If that's challenging for you, you can step back and then tuck it under and lower yourself down. We might use some hand weights later on, but you don't need them. I'll do it without the hand weights. If you have them, I'll tell you when to use them. Sit up nice and tall, scoop that pelvis and just roll the pelvis under and then come back up. Trying not to lean. I'm just trying to open this lower part of your back. And we'll just do that 2 more times. And then roll it all the way down onto the ground. Arms pressed down, open your chest. Find your ribs pulled in, belly pulls the right leg up. And then the left leg. I'm gonna have you curl up and peek at that pelvis and see if it's still nice and flat. And then bring one leg down at a time. So we all have different curvatures of our back. I want this rib cage pressed down, so right at your ribs. If you feel them coming up, think about pulling them together, and you have to hold them together. That's going to keep them against that mat. But you still might have space under here. We don't want to change any of this once we start moving our legs. If you change that, your pelvis is moving, and then all of a sudden we're not using our abdominals anymore. So again, we're not necessarily pushing our back down because that makes me move. And then again, I'm not going to use these. We want to keep it at that neutral position so it's nice and neutral. Let's pull one knee up at a time. The other knee comes up, curl up, reach those arms long, and we're going to start our 100. Inhale, 2, 5, exhale out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, and lengthen that back of the neck. And keep pumping. 5 breaths counts to inhale and 5 counts to exhale. If this is easy, you can extend those legs up. Find that wrap, and then you can start to lower it. But only lower those legs as far as these ribs keep pulling back in opposition. It's 100 because we do 100 of them. So it's 10 times 5 breaths in, 5 breaths out. Keep opening that chest. And let's just do 2 more. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And then lower yourself down. Legs are going to go straight up in the air. Make sure that tailbone is down. I'm going to have you just press those feet straight up to the ceiling. So this would be getting ready for the short spine. So using your abdominals to press it up. So I'm not swinging to lift. I'm trying to use the really low abdominals, like I'm pressing into springs to lift up. And it's much more challenging to do this. 2 more here. Good, and then bend it back in. If you have those hand weights, you can put them in your hands for coordination. So tailbone stays down, heels together, knees go wide, and you bring them as close to your body as that tailbone can stay down. So I'm not coming all the way up in here. This is as close as I can get. You're going to bring those elbows to the mat, hands will go right above them, and you're going to curl up. So inhale, take it out, reach out of those hips, open, close, exhale, exhale. Inhale out, open, close, exhale, exhale. You can rest your head down at any time. 2 more. And last one, inhale, open, close, exhale, exhale, and bring it down. Go ahead and take a head side to side to relax for a minute. Go ahead and flip over onto your belly for the swan. So I'll give you a couple options on this. You want to get those legs all the way together so those heels are touching, and then those toes are all trying to get onto the ground. So trying to reach that pinky toe nice and long. Hands go underneath your shoulders, and then pull your ribs off of that mat. So I can put my hands under my ribs here, and basically under my belly too, so I'm not pressing in there. Keep lifting those ribs. You're going to lift that chest up, and then take it back down. Lift it up again. Pull the shoulders down. You can keep doing this. If you feel ready, we can do a swan dive with a stop in between. So lift up. You're going to come as high as you can without shortening that back. Let yourself roll and catch yourself. Everything rolls in that same position. It doesn't stop. 2 more. And last one. And then sit back into that child's pose. Pull that belly away. Good. If you have your strap or your weights, you can go ahead and use those again. Come back into that same position. Your arms are going to go wide, and you want to reach them up to shoulder height. I'm going to go this direction so you can see better. And you want to press those out through those knuckles. Slide the shoulders down your back. Keep pressing it wide, and you're going to slide them down towards your glutes. And then bring it back up. Keep pulling those ribs off the floor. Reach it wide. Slide the shoulder blades down your back. And then back up. Think about making your back as wide as you can. And then slide them back down. And bring it up. And sit back into child's pose. Okay, go ahead and flip it over. We're going to bend our knees. If you're really tight, you can sit on a box or a pillow. We want our feet away from a little bit, and we're going to do short box on that reformer. So we're pretending we're doing short box. We're going to wrap those arms, touch your ribs, and I'm going to lift up to make my spine as long as I can. I'm going to pull that belly away from me, just like we did at the start, to roll that pelvis down. Press through those feet. You can flex too. This would be the position we would be in on the reformer, and then bring it back up. Pull that pelvis away from those arms, roll it back down. And you want to be pressing out with the legs too. They're not moving, but you feel the glutes having to work too. Sitting up tall on those sit bones, and roll it back. And then come back up, and then just reach forward to stretch in opposition. Good, come back up. Hands can go behind your head. We're going to do the flat back. So stacking up nice and tall, lengthening that spine, getting up on those sit bones. You're going to flat back, and then come back up. And keep pushing those heels. They want to pop up so bad. And then back up. One more time, take it back as flat as you can take it, and lengthen to bring it back up, and stretch it forward. Good, back up again. This one is side to side. I'm going to do it this way. So pull those feet, press out with those glutes, get up onto your sit bones, and I'm just going to pretend I've got a bar in my arms, and pull those shoulder blades down. We're going to take it to the right side. That left hip stays nice and heavy, but I'm not dropping this waist. I'm trying to get that right arm to the corner of the wall and ceiling, and this arm's going to stretch with it, and then back up. So both sides are stretching. It's just that right side is stretching a little bit more this way, and then back. Get up taller, stretch to that opposite side, and pretend like you're pulling a bar apart, and back up. Left, back up, one more each side. And last time. Good, and then round it forward. And come back up, that same position, find that bar, pull that bar apart. We're gonna twist as we're hinging back, and then come back up. Trying to look at the back corner of your mat. Keeping the shoulders down your back, pull that bar apart. One more time each. Good, and then stretch it forward. The next one would be tree. So the left leg can be bent or straight, it just depends on how flexible you are. Tree is miserable when you have tight hamstrings. I know from experience. Lift up tall, but by doing it, you're gonna get more flexible. We're gonna straighten that leg and bend it. Straighten and bend, and straighten it, hold it, walk your hands up, 1, 2, 3. Now I wanna make as much space here as I can. So my knee's not towards me, it's rolled out to the side, so this opens up. I'm gonna roll back, trying to get that leg up to 90, as close as I can get. And I'm gonna scoop my belly, walk down, 1, 2, 3. Walk it up, and then come forward. Good, we'll go do it again. Shoulders stay down. Take it down, and up, back, and up. Come back here, you're gonna point, flex that foot, point, the flex hurts. One more time, flex. Grab that pinky toe side. If you can't reach it, it's fine. And big toe side, and then lift out of that back, trying to get my nose to my knee, and then bring it down. Good, left side. See which side's better. Lift up nice and tall. Bend and straighten. Good, walk it up. 1, 2, 3. Roll it back, trying to get up to 90. Walk down. Belly is what pulls us up and down, not our arms. They're just kind of going along with the ride. Trying to push this leg down as much as you can. Last one here. And then point and flex, point, flex. One more time. Try to grab that pinky side first, big toe side. Lift up and over. And then bring it back down. Let's go ahead and down. We will do frogs and leg circles. So arms pressed down, knees are up right above your hips, in Pilates stance. Now you're gonna pull the knees wide. Watch that tailbone, so don't let this happen. And then peek up. Is our pelvis still flat? We wanna keep it flat. We're gonna extend out, wrap around to press those inner thighs together and pull it back. Only go as low as all of this is in control. You can see as soon as I start to do this, I can put my hands under my ribs. I want to keep those down. So only go as low as you're going to feel it here. Take it out, hold it out for a second and peek up. If your stomach is doming up, take it up higher. We want to pull our belly in. It shouldn't be sticking up, it should be pulling in if anything. When you look up, you have less stomach than you normally do. Few more here. Really feel those inner thighs. If I was there, I would try to come and put my finger between your heels. Can anyone separate your feet right now? Pull it back, take it out, hold it out, bring those legs up as high as you can without straightening them. It doesn't have to be a big circle, and only go to as low as you were. Back up, feel that stretch, and back down. So none of this is moving. Few more times here. Good, bring it up in the center, then we'll go down, open, and circle it around. Pretend you have those leg springs on, and you're working against that spring. One more here. And bend those knees, roll side to side. Good, take those feet down. I'm gonna have you do it in parallel and arms pressed down. We'll do a parallel first, then we'll do Pilates down. So this is replacing semicircle. I'm actually gonna bring it down here. You can keep your arms by your sides, If you can take your arms over your head straight without letting these ribs pop, you can take them over straight, or you can bend them to keep those ribs down a little bit more. I'm going to have you lift up onto those high heels, just that same height. We're not doing that super tall high heel that most people can walk in. You're going to roll that pelvis up, bring it up, keep rolling these hip bones up towards your shoulders, and then don't roll out onto those pinkies. Keep those big toe knuckles down. And we're going to roll it down, keep those heels up. Roll it back up. Keep lifting. I'm cheating. I'm going too high on my heels. And roll it down. Good. Roll it back up. And roll it down. Good. Now come to Pilates stance. So instead of reversing it like we do on the reformer, we'll just change that foot position. Come up to that mid-sized heel and then roll it up. Find that wrap with your glutes and roll it down. Good. And roll up. And roll it down. One more time. Roll it up. And then bring it down. Good. Pull those knees in again. We're going to turn over onto our hands and knees for the knee stretch series. So hands are going to be right under your shoulders. Feet will be in line with those sit bones. Tuck those toes under. And you're just going to pick up the knees. Press those heels back as much as you can. Now I'm going to have you look into your belly to keep pulling those shoulders down, and you're going to lean back a little bit more. Good. We're just going to hold this position. So if I put my arm underneath you, I'm able to lift your belly up. I don't have a very good shirt on for this. So I'm pulling up. I'm not flat here. I'm rounded. And then lower it down and rest for a second. You can do that again, or here's a little bit more challenging one. We're going to roll it up again, press those heels down, look into our belly, and then we're going to press back with that right leg and press back with the left. Nothing's moving other than that leg. Those hips stay nice and level. Shoulders keep pulling down your back. One more each side. Good. Straighten those legs, and we're going to walk those feet up. So ideally, we want the heels underneath our hips, and you're going to push your hips back. This would be an elephant. Pull up your toes if you can, and we're just going to hold this stretch. Your knees might be bent, but you can keep trying to stretch them. If you need to bring your hands up higher, it'll be a little bit more comfortable and easier if you put your hands on a chair, or just if you're by a wall. Put them up higher on that wall. Good, and then bring it back down. Sit back on those heels and just stretch for a moment. Go ahead and go back onto our back. If you have your weights, you can grab them. I'll use mine this time to show you. You don't need them. This is called the back stroke. So back into that Pilates stance, heels together, knees apart. You're going to put the ends of the dumbbells together, or if you just have your hands, just put your hands together. You're going to bring it to your forehead, right to that hairline, and you're going to roll it up. Arms and legs go straight up on an inhale. Exhale, open. Inhale, hold, reach up higher, higher, and then exhale, bring it back down. Good. Inhale, exhale, inhale, hold, belly pulls back in opposition, and then exhale down. One more time this direction. Inhale, exhale, inhale, inhale, or hold, sorry, then exhale. Now we're going to switch it. Inhale and hold it. And then it's just one exhale and bring it down. Inhale and hold. Exhale, open, circle back, and bring it down. One more time. And bring it all the way down. Good, roll yourself up. We're gonna do teaser from the top, like we're on that long box. So in your hands, I want you to pretend you're pressing forward strap so those shoulders are down and in, and feel that resistance. So press those up in front of you. You're gonna lift up to rolling like a ball, pull that belly in, and then just try to reach those legs out as straight as you can, pulling into those straps still, and then bring it back down. Good, press into those straps, chest is lifted, and reach those legs, trying to wrap your thighs together, and then back down. One more time, press into those straps, extend it out. Just gonna roll it down a little bit this time. Keep pressing into those straps to roll up, and bring it back down. Good, let's go ahead and roll it back down. Press those arms down. Feet are in parallel. You're gonna press it out to your 45, and then we're just gonna press one heel forward as you bend the other leg for running. Pull that belly in and up. Everything is pulled down into that mat. Ooh, getting cramped on my foot. One more each, and then bring it down. Let's go ahead and stand on up. Got a few more minutes. We'll do a couple more of those running, this time standing. So you'll come up onto that heel, and then we'll switch and switch. Rolling through that foot. So the more you do Pilates, the more you understand how important your feet are. And everything stems from the foot. So that, like Joseph Pilates had quite a few different things to address the feet. He has a foot corrector, a toe corrector. He does a lot with rolling. So I'll be doing a little bit of different feet things at the end. Today we'll just use your weight. If you have a weight, or if you have like a broomstick, even a frozen water bottle works. So I'm gonna use my weight, and I'm just gonna roll my foot on the weight today. Just roll it up and back. So on the foot corrector, this is something that you do. Actually, you press the foot corrector down and you pull it back and press on it. Some days it doesn't hurt, and some days it hurts like crazy. Good, and then you can switch to the other side. A golf ball works, lacrosse ball. If you're really tender on the bottom of it, try a tennis ball first until you get a little bit more. Break that tissue up underneath. The other thing that you can do is in that arch area, you can put a little pressure on where you're tight and then bring it down. And we want to move past the hard part. So only let yourself move a tiny, tiny bit. This is where I'm super tight. My body wanted to move past it. And then switch it again. And just try this. Like, take your shoes off while you're at work. Have something at work. And you don't even have to take a break from work. You can still work and try to do this. Good. And then switch to the other side. Many people with plantar fasciitis, once they started doing Pilates, they've never had a problem since, because we focus so much on the feet. And you don't have to put a lot of weight on it, especially if you're just starting. Just put a little bit. Good. And then set it to the side. Let's go ahead and come back to that Pilates stance. Wrap those thighs around. We're going to reach up again. And now even exaggerate it even more. One bone rolls down at a time. Bend those knees as much as you need to. Release that head completely. Release those arms. Pull those inner thighs together. Scoop that belly. roll it back up, and then exhale it down. Good, one more breath in, reach up and tall. Shoulders pull down, palms face out. Keep pulling those shoulders down to bring those arms to your sides. And you're all done. Thanks for coming today.